from SCNR.com. New poll finds 89% of Americans are concerned about Biden's physical and mental fitness. Wow. But this is an NBC News poll, and they're garbage. They found 62% of registered voters said they have major concerns, 14% have moderate concerns, 13% have minor concerns. So what's the percentage of people who are like, I'm not concerned at all? Because I got to be fair. The people who are not concerned at all probably still think his brain is broken. They just don't care. And also, I take issue with the idea of major concerns. They should have had a question like, do you think that Joe Biden's mental state has deteriorated to the point where he is on the verge of death? And it would have been like 37% said they believe that he is moribundly demented at this point.
I hope this poll is true, because then that would mean you can't fool all the people all the time.
But how many people?
How many of them care?
Yeah, how many people do they poll even? Like 1,000?
Yeah.
1,500? Yeah, 1,000 people.
Here we go. Do we have the... It's not going to play, is it? They're always giving me the business.
It doesn't matter. If we had responsible representatives, they would all want him to get
out
of office.
Yeah, they should be making moves in Congress to impeach him, or at least remove him for dereliction of duty.
In the Gaza Strip has been over the top. I think that, as you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in.
Is he talking about Eagle Pass?
I mean,
I have to watch it through my fingers.
You know what would be funny? If Sisi actually is the president of Mexico and we've been living in this North Korean-style dictatorship, and what's actually happening is the truth is slipping out.
It's...
For the record, the president of Mexico is Andrés Manuel López Obrador.
The good thing about this stuff is the memes. The memes have been absolutely stellar. That's the only thing that's been good.
Yeah, but again, it's like Dr. Strangelove, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
it's
riding the atomic bomb down. Yeah.
It is. And again, like I keep coming back to this, but it really speaks very badly. Like all the people that come on the show, and even Tim, you said stuff like this, that the people that are in the establishment in positions of power, they're just trying to accrue as much wealth as they can as the system degrades. And that's really what it looks like, because why on earth, if you had hope for the future of the country, would you want this man to be in this position?
They have to 25th Amendment him. They have to do it.
I mean,
there's like, dude, this Biden thing with his fractured mind is the conversations among
real
Democrats.
bad.
Like we already mentioned, the guy saying, I woke up every 2 hours and wet the bed. This thing's really bad. They have to initiate a 25th Amendment incapacitation removal. And I don't think Kamala Harris is of sound mind, but she has one, and she can stand up on her own of her own volition.
Yeah, I think she is of sound mind, if we're going to use that definition, but not. I don't necessarily agree with the way she thinks. Yeah, or the things she says.
She's of sound mind, like Forrest Gump was. You know what I mean?
Like her IQ is where it is, but her mind is not demented.
Vice President Predictive Text and President Roomba. I mean, if you watch Joe Biden after he gets done at the podium,
and he's like walking
around, he's like a Roomba, and Kamala Harris sounds like she's a predictive text.
In this video, he's talking about President Sisi. He's talking about the Egyptian president, and he calls Egypt Mexico.
No idea. He
That's
has no idea.
So messed up in a wartime situation to refer to a neighboring country as the wrong country.
You know what? You know, what if what happened with Afghanistan was he goes in the Situation Room and they're like, "What are your orders, Mr. President?" He's like, "We gotta abandon NORAD," and they're like, "We're talking about Afghanistan, right?" And he's like, "Air base," and they're like, "Well, okay, I guess we do nothing then." And then Bagram gets abandoned. Like what if the reason Afghanistan went so poorly is because Biden was giving wrong words?
Yeah, so there's a person that I follow, an anonymous account on Twitter that's actually really pretty smart. And she was making the argument that that Biden, God damn it, I had the argument right at the tip of my head, or tip of my thing. I'll look it up and get
And then you got roped into that Twitter.
I know. Well, no, that's where she was.
No, but so they're not going to tell us this. Everybody looks at Afghanistan and like, how could that have possibly happened? Abandoning Bagram Air Force Base in the middle of the night and letting the Taliban just take it. And like regular, like people were just like Afghanis were just looting the place.
Oh, so the point she was making was and it's true. The people that work with Biden are the same people that worked with, essentially the same people that worked with President Obama. And a lot of them are the same people that have worked with the Clintons for a lot of years. So these people are not dumb. Like, they know what's going on, and they can see what's going on with Biden. And so the most likely scenario is Biden's fighting. Like, Biden is pushing back against people saying, hey, you shouldn't do so many appearances. That presser last night, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he said, I'm going to do this, and he put his foot down, because it was horrible all the way around in every way for him. There was nothing, there was zero benefit to him doing that.
Bro, the DOJ gave him a golden ticket. They said, Biden, step down, don't go to jail. And he comes out at the podium and goes, I'm not crazy. My memory is just fine. And it's like, well, then you go to prison, because we're criminally charging you if you are competent.
It's unreal.
But I mean, when they said that the perception of the jury would be that he wasn't a willful person, they are saying he is incompetent to stand trial to the best of their abilities.
That's really...
But competent to be leader of the free world.
Like, you got to be in a bad mental place to not be mentally fit to see a trial.
But here's the thing. Don't you think it was just as obvious in 2020 as it is now?
I was just watching a video of him campaigning in 2020. He's so much more lucid in 20. Even in 2020, when he was degraded from 2018, I was like, God, he's falling apart in 2020. I could see it. Listen to
how he talks right now.
You should roll a little bit of it just for reference.
Listen to how he talks right now. I'll play it again.
Conduct of the response in the Gaza Strip.
The conduct of the response in Gaza Strip takes me a half second to say. Took him 10 seconds to say. It's the breathy pausing of the.
Yeah, sounds like my.
And you're right. He is worse, and not only is he worse, but even think back then, like your average person. And again, this is something that we probably don't talk about enough, but that we are fairly cognizant of. People like us that are involved in politics every single day, we're like 2% of the population, maybe 5 at the high end,
and we are in a bubble.
Yeah, and most people most people that vote, because again, they want everyone to vote. They don't want anyone to pay attention to what's going on in the news. They just want everyone to vote. But the people that vote based on what their friends tell them and probably 2 or 3 videos they see. And so the 2020 election was unique because of the ballot harvesting, because of the lack of campaigning, because of all the things that went into it. Never mind the electioneering and the Democrats outsmarting the Republicans on a state by state level and just being better at the game of politics than the Republicans were. But all that, on top of the fact that, Donald Trump had spent, there's 4 years of the media sliming Donald Trump every time his name was mentioned and stuff. So it's not a surprise that the average person is completely and totally brainwashed and propagandized, because they got lives, they got families, they've got real things that they care about. And most of us, while we do this stuff all the time, we have far greater and more nuanced and far deeper knowledge of almost all of these topics than the average person that votes.
I think my point is, don't think for a second that he can't win again.
I agree.
As brain dead as he is.
We should pull up a video from 2020 if we can find something of him talking about.
There was only a handful of them because he was in the basement.
Yeah. But like that, the 2020 guy, I can see.
And this president, if he's reelected, you know what
it's will like happen. Night and day, man.
Yeah.
Cases and deaths will remain far too high.
He was 75% brain dead. Now he's 90% brain dead.
Close their doors, and this time for good.
He's got like
that's how dementia works. Everyone is like shocked.
And yet the wealthiest 1%.
It looks like he's looking into the sun.
Get tens of billions of dollars.
He's got that
view. Listen to him.
Wealthiest 1%.
If
he doesn't have that sound in his voice anymore.
If you listen to him talk, and you listen to him talk in the 90s when he would give a speech,
remember what the
he sounds very similar, but a little bit slower. Yeah. Now he sounds like a totally different guy.
Yes.
All right, let's listen.
Coming out of fields
2020
with lighted torches, veins bulging, spewing the same anti-Semitic bile heard across Europe in the 30s. Remember the violent clash that ensued between those spreading hate and those with the courage to stand against it.
All emotional manipulation.
Remember what the president said when asked?
Dude.
Listen.
He said there were, quote, very fine people on both sides. It was a wake-up call for us as a country.
What a lying sack of crap. But I want to highlight that to point out he lied. Trump did not refer to neo-Nazis and white nationalists as very fine people. He said they should be condemned totally. He said, and they should be condemned totally. But that's how he launched his campaign. But good point, Ian. You watch this video? I mean, he was talking words in a row. Now he goes, and this country,
and he says the wrong stuff.
Yep.
That's really
he doesn't want to be there. He's sunset. And look at his face even.
Yeah,
it's been 4 years. Okay. He's 81 now. He is done. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.